Hey everyone, I'm Epion and today we're playing some Commander on MTGO. Looks like our opponent is playing Alesha who smiles at death, and we are playing Grimgrin Corpseborn. This starting hand is, it's not great, but Coffin Queen is actually pretty good against a Reanimator deck like this, so I think this hand is actually fine to go ahead and keep. We don't have a ton going on for us, but if we can steal a creature with Coffin Queen, we can use it to untap Grimgrin. So I think this is keepable. I think turn one we'll start out with just a basic swamp and Mana Crypt, and then we'll play Coffin Queen. Unfortunately, the one thing that kind of stinks is that she's not a 2/2 for 3, because then obviously Blood Chief Ascension gets to be much better. So let's play Swamp. Let's cast this Mana Crypt. And we'll play Coffin Queen. And then we'll pass it back. Next turn, I think what we'll do is we'll play Polluted Delta. We'll use that to get our Watery Grave. Actually, we may just use it to get a basic island. Mana Crypt is already going to be doing a fairly good job of damaging us, I would assume. And this is going to be a more aggressive deck. They normally are. So we may not want to just Lightning Bolt ourselves turn 2 just for the ability to play Think Twice. Also, if you play something like Faithless Looting here and put something in the bin, we may just want to steal it with Coffin Queen instead. So well, that's pretty good for him. That's probably going to destroy our Mana Crypt, which is going to make this a little awkward. But if he does that, it's going to save us a little bit of life. So, yay, we won the flip. Oh, there's Read the Bones. I think what we'd rather do then is use Polluted Delta to get Watery Grave. We'll let it enter tapped, and then we'll play Read the Bones instead. No, we don't want to pay the life. And then we'll play Read the Bones. And this should hopefully help set up our coming turns. Liliana's Reaver is good, except for that it just dies to Alesha's First Strike. And Zombie Apocalypse, I think, is just flat out bad in this position. So let's put that on the bottom. This guy will go ahead and leave on top. Okay, and we ended up with a Temple. I would assume that probably our opponent's going to destroy our Mana Crypt. So we're definitely going to have to watch out for that. And depending on what card gets discarded, maybe we can nab it with Coffin Queen instead. I guess we'll have to see what line they want to take. Obviously, if they let us untap, yeah, so they're going to blow up our Mana Crypt. I don't know what's happening here. Okay. Okay, so Soltari Visionaire. Okay, that's fine. I think what we'll do then is we'll just go ahead and take the Soltari Visionary. Let's see, when it becomes untapped, or I lose control of it, I can exile that creature. Actually, Withered Wretch... Boy, I'm having trouble speaking this morning. Withered Wretch is probably just better, because then we can just use it to exile instead. So we'll play Withered Wretch. We still have enough mana to be able to get to Grimgrin, so I think we're still in an okay position here. And this next turn we have the option to go for Liliana's Reaver or play something like Temple and then think twice. Being able to destroy the Mana Crypt was a great tempo swing for them because it kept us off of Grimgrin. Okay, there's Alesha. We'll go ahead and exile the Visionary anyways. I think limiting the amount of value they can get off of Alesha is just better for us. Let's go ahead and play Temple of Deceit here. That allows us to hit Grimgrin next turn, and it also gives us a preview of what we're drawing. Rooftop Storm is a really good card in this deck, but I'm not sure if it does anything in this position. We have one zombie in hand and Grimgrin. We also don't have enough mana to cast Rooftop Storm. Yeah, I think we have to just ship this in favor of something a little bit better. If we had a whole bunch of zombies in hand, I think we could easily make the case to go ahead and just take it, and all we need is one more land, and everything goes live. But in this case, we don't really have much to play here. This turn we also have the ability to snag something with Coffin Queen if he chooses to put something in the graveyard. Mask of Memory. Okay, well I would assume that's getting equipped to Alesha. Does this provide any kind of buff? No. Okay, just card advantage. Wandering Champion deals combat damage to a player. If you control a red or blue permanent, you can discard, then draw. Okay? Yep, figured Alesha was getting in there. Okay, and then end step, we'll go ahead and play this thing twice. Well, and see, there was an island right underneath, so that actually would have ended up being exactly what we wanted. I think what we're going to do here is go ahead and play Grimgrin. He doesn't have many cards left in hand, so I feel like his chances of being able to deal effectively with Grimgrin are kind of bad. We can also sack a creature to Grimgrin to untap in combat and maybe eat this Alesha, which may be fantastic. Diagraph Captain wasn't a bad draw either, with Liliana's Reaver in hand. This should give us a way to get zombies, and then we can just feed them to Grimgrin to deal incremental life loss, or just attack with them or block them because they have Death Touch. Oh, actually, he doesn't grant Death Touch. I was thinking of a different card. Yeah, this is just incremental life loss when they die. Mind Slash. Okay, so you can pay a black and sacrifice a creature. Target opponent reveals his hand. You choose a card from it, and that person has to discard it. Okay? There's not much here to get, so if he wants to sacrifice creatures, that's fine. Okay. I think this actually works out really great for us. We can use Coffin Queen to get Hammer Mage to untap Grimgrin, attack, and destroy Alesha. So barring a 1-mana white effect like Path to Exile or Swords to Plowshares, I think this actually worked out really well for us. And there's not a whole lot here that we really care about. Skull Clamp would stink to lose, but okay, Liliana's Reaver. So we just went after the biggest creature we had. And he didn't equip the Mask of Memories either, which is interesting. Yeah, it only equips for 1. I think if I was in his position, I might have taken Skull Clamp instead. Reaver just dies to Alesha every time. Yep, this is fine. You can't reanimate that guy. I would actually just rather take this damage than sack one of these creatures to untap to try and combat trick. And this is just filtering, it's not strictly card advantage, so I think that's fine as well. Goblin Grenadiers. Okay. That may actually be even better. Because then we can Skull Clamp that. So, let's choose Goblin Grenadiers. We'll take it with Coffin Queen. Okay, we will play Skull Clamp. Clamp the Grenadiers. We'll sacrifice Grenadiers to get 2 cards. Untap Grimgrin, we'll attack, and then we can deal with this Alesha for now. Yeah, putting something like a 2/2 in the bin was actually super good for us, because we couldn't have clamped Hammer Mage and still been able to sack. Okay, that puts our opponent at 7 commander damage already. This next turn we may just go ahead and play Endless Ranks of Dead. And then we'll just start getting an overwhelming zombie army. I feel like a massive amount of tokens created by something like this is not going to be something that a deck like this can deal with, short of something like a Wrath. Some of these Alesha decks do run Wraths, or they run massive damage-based removal, like Earthquake or Mizium Mortars, something like that. That would deal with all the zombies, but short of a Wrath, this Grimgrin is actually going to be a huge issue. Blood Cultist. Blood Cultist is actually kind of a cheeky way to get some value out of us feeding our creatures to our other creatures. That's for sure. I don't know if you can attack with that. Yeah, okay. Yes, we would like to untap that. Alter the Brood may actually be great, because then when our zombies come out, they're also going to mill. So yeah, let's go ahead and play Alter the Brood. It's going to help him mill, obviously, which isn't ideal for us, but I feel like we're in a pretty good position here to, you know, use this effectively. We're going to auto-yield to that, because I feel like we're going to end up with a lot of triggers from it. 1, 2, 3, 4, endless ranks. We don't really have much else going on this turn, so I think we're gonna pass in favor of waiting for some zombies off of this endless rank instead. We always have the ability to untap Grimgrin basically on command, so I don't think we have to worry too much about getting really punished for not untapping and attacking at this point. Also, the more that we mill with Altar of the Brood, the better off I think we are for something like Coffin Queen to snag something really good. Obviously, if we do something like that and Blood Cultist is out, it's not great because Coffin Queen can just get shot. Okay, Tended Knight. So that gives him a pretty effective blocker for our Grimgrin at this point. Obviously, pretty soon we're going to need to just start clamping to refill our hand as well. Like, for instance, this next turn we may go ahead and hit Endless Ranks to get our one zombie, clamp that, and then pitch it to grab 2 more cards. Because right now we don't have a particularly strong hand. And then obviously Blood Chief Ascension is also going to go to work with this Altar of the Brood. Okay, so Mask of Memories on the champion. This is fine. It's only 3 damage, which I think we're going to be able to mitigate once this Blood Chief Ascension gets worked out. He's going to be drawing basically 1 extra card and milling 2. You know, if he chooses to put creatures in the graveyard, then obviously we can snag them with Coffin Queen, or we can simply just exile them with Withered Wretch. Yeah, like this guy, when he enters the battlefield, destroy a creature. He's not going to do a whole lot to us, because it can't hit non-black. And I'm not super worried about Blind Zealot either. But it did give him some nice filtering. Let's go ahead and just start hitting some exiles here, as long as we've got the floating mana. We don't have anything else to do with it. We'll go ahead and get this Hammer Mage. We don't want it to be reanimated and then kill our other artifacts here. Especially because if he has a way to reanimate this and protect it, for 2 mana, he gets to deal with our Skull Clamp and our Altar of the Brood. That seems like pretty good value to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and play a land. We'll play a Soul Ring. Gonna tap Soul Ring. Do Blood Chief Ascension. Diregraph Captain. And then we're going to equip Skull Clamp to this zombie. And then we'll go ahead and sack. We milled a pretty fair amount of cards. Altar of Dementia is also a great way to keep milling our opponent and get some value. We're pretty close to Army of the Damned, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus the 2 more from this. So we're actually good for Army of the Damned next turn. So let's go ahead and attack with Grimgrin. I think killing this Blood Cultist may actually be good. If he's in the right mind to ping our guy right, you know, as we're going to be sacking, that would actually be pretty good. Or, you know, before we block or something like that, you know, it's going to net him a little bit of value. We're still not super effectively killing our opponents, you know, creatures or getting through for a lot of damage. Most of this has been, you know, incremental loss. Dealing 1 damage to Grimgrin. Okay. It's worth noting that he already has 7 commander damage, so in a couple turns it's going to be 1 swing lethal from Grimgrin, unless obviously he gets killed. Knowing that this... Oh, he took it. So now he's at 1 hit for my commander is lethal no matter what. We're going to go ahead and play this Altar of Dementia. Then, if something does happen to, say, Grimgrin or any of my other cards, I can just pitch them to this instead. Devout Witness is kind of scary. Especially with being able to reanimate a lot. The only thing that stinks is it's not an enter the battlefield effect, so I feel like that would probably die in combat a lot. So always yes, always yield. Yes. I think this next turn we'll probably go for Army of the Damned. I think actually it may be kind of fun to just go for a straight mill win against the Reanimator deck. Altar of Dementia is going to make them mill 3. So, what, 3 times 13 is going to be 39. That'd be 80, or 68, 8 after both sets, plus the Altar of the Brood triggers. So, we're looking at, realistically, 2 turns to mill our opponent out completely. Unless, of course, this gets pitched to something like Mind Slash. Okay, a Johnny. So let's see what he decides to do here. If he does counters or flying and double strike. Flying and double strike, yeah, I was gonna say on something like that could be pretty good. Okay. There's Mask of Memory. And he doesn't actually control the blue or red permanents, so that clause is out the door. It's actually probably better for him, though. I think he's netting more cards this way. I mean, he gets to look deeper if he uses the other one, but it's a shame this isn't an instant. Untap on upkeep. In response to this, play Army of the Damned. That would actually be something. Okay, so we're gonna get 2 free zombies here. Put those on the stack. Geth. Geth doesn't do much. So yeah, let's go ahead and play Army of the Damned. I've never gotten to cast this card before, so that should be pretty fun. Blah! Uh-oh, all these triggers. And I can never remember what the F key is. Oh my goodness! I was looking so forward to getting all this mill. I thought it was going to be great. Damn it. Well, at least I got to cast it. It's no villainous wealth. I got to cast Army of the Damned for once. So that was freaking amazing in its own right. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of this Grimgrin deck. It's kind of swingy, but it's definitely a fun deck to play. If you like the game, please leave it a like. I always appreciate those. Let me know what you thought in the comments. The deck, the game, how your day is, you know, all that good stuff. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. But until next time, this is Epion, signing off.